Today on the LA Food Podcast, you can listen to us here or finally watch us on YouTube. The choice is yours, dear listener. Father Saul is with us today for our first ever segment of Versus, a game in which we pit two different but similar restaurants against each other to see which one you'd rather visit after hearing your humble co-hosts passionately argue about which is the superior choice. Saul's fighter today is Echo Park modern Mexican darling Ati, and mine is the great return of legendary Alta California chef Ray Garcia over at Broken Spanish Comedor. Who will make the most compelling case? Listen to find out. In further desperate attempts to gamify the pod, Chef's Kiss Big Miss is back with another James Beard scandal, an outrageous California pizza kitchen cease and desist letter, and something called the restaurant relationship gap, which your hosts are all too familiar with. In part 2, we've got Natalie Dial and Harry Posner of Westchester's very own Tomat. Tomat has gotten a ton of love since it opened a stone's throw away from LAX, but not everyone might be aware of Natalie and Harry's fascinating story from meeting in the Gambia while working in the medical profession to uprooting their lives in London to open a somewhat quixotic all-day concept in an area not typically associated with restaurants other than Ayara Thai and the LAX In-N-Out. Harry and Natalie are an absolute delight, and if you haven't been to Tomat yet, I have a sneaking suspicion this interview will have you hitting that reservation button pronto. A reminder that the LA Food Podcast is part of the Acquired Taste media family. Be sure to listen to our sister podcast, Takeando with Bill Esparza. This week, Bill dropped his very special 50th episode. He interviewed Rocio Moreno of Birria Nochislan. The video of that interview is also up on our YouTube channel at It's Acquired Taste. As always, I'm your host, Lucas Servodio, and without further ado, it's time to chow down. This episode of the LA Food Podcast is presented by our friends at MVA.wine. I recently sat down with Laurent Verns, the founder of MVA.wine, and my first reaction was, wait, why isn't everyone doing wine like this? They treat wine the way we treat food on this show. It's all about discovery, not the obvious places, the tiny producers, the bottles you only find when someone points you in the right direction. Here's how it works. They gather at a farmhouse in Tuscany and blind taste 50 to 60 wines. Every bottle has to get a unanimous yes, and only 6 make the cut. Oh, and every time they go to Tuscany for those tastings, they bring 2 members along, all expenses paid. That could be you, dear listener. The wines that make it come from incredible producers whose bottles rarely leave their region, wines you simply can't find in stores in LA or anywhere else. Membership at MVA Wine is capped at 600 people, so be sure to go snag a coveted spot as soon as you can, dear listener. To do so, go to mva.wine/subscribe. That's mva.wine/subscribe. You'll thank me later. Welcoming back to the LA Food Podcast, a man who I'm pretty sure can't wait for round 1 of the NBA playoffs. Saul, how are you feeling about the Sixers and the Boston Celtics, my man?
Not good. but in a good way, actually. You know what it is? It feels really good to not have the poison of hope in my heart. Like, we are going to lose. We are, in my opinion, definitely going to get swept. But that's okay. Like, I know that's what's going to happen. I don't go in being like, oh my God, maybe we have a chance. We have no chance.
They do say it is the hope that kills you. Now, if Joel manages to return, are you afraid that a little bit of that hope might seep into you?
He won't return. Question answered. Next question. Now, you must be feeling pretty excited, Mr. Bandwagon Detroit Pistons fan. Yeah. Number 1 seed. I had really hoped our two teams could go against each other. The Sixers had to fuck it up, of course, as they always do. But how are you feeling? The little finals run?
I mean, look, a knock on wood, I'm feeling great just about having a solid first round that I can feel not confident of winning, but, confident of at least enjoying. And I fully plan for night 1 of the playoffs to have a fully Detroit themed night, meaning I'm gonna probably order a Detroit Pizza Depot, which I just had. And, I'm just gonna go all in. I might be playing some Eminem in the background, some Jay Dilla tunes, just really leaning in, cosplaying 8 Mile super hard.
I like that. That's a good vibe. I will say I am very excited over the next several weeks to spend at least some time with you and some other friends watching basketball. It's gonna be a great time.
I love it. I love it. It is the best time of the year. We have the NBA playoffs. We have the Champions League heating up. We have Arsenal, who are somehow going to manage to contrive to lose the Premier League. Of course, unfortunately, we are not a sports podcast. We are a food podcast. So probably about time that we switch gears. Before we get into today's agenda, I did want to give a quick thank you to whoever left us a 5-star review on Spotify. Always appreciate that. We've also got a comment from our friend Sandra Franco, who commented on our most recent Couch Potatoes episode, which I didn't even mention was going to be happening on last episode. But in case you missed it, dear listener, we dropped an episode of Couch Potatoes on Monday, recapping America's Culinary Cup and asking ourselves the very important question, is it better than Top Chef? Sandra agreed with us that the Top Chef challenges have been weak this season. Saul, I missed the last episode. Have they turned things around, or is it still kind of weak?
Well, this past episode of Top Chef, they finally did the barbecue episode, whole hog barbecue, which is a good one. The dishes looked really good. What I will say, and I texted you this, and we didn't mention it on the Couch Potatoes episode, the sponsorship and like brand integrations this season, and frankly the last couple seasons of Top Chef, just really laying it on. With the Wells Fargo 2% cashback credit card. Look, it's working. I know it because they say it 80 times an episode, and they contrive to have like every competition and prize to be like, hey, here's 2%. You get 2% of this prize because the Wells Fargo 2% cashback credit card or whatever. And it just is, it feels gross. It doesn't feel like as fun and light as it used to.
Well, is it working? Are you a Wells Fargo customer?
I was before, to be fair. They didn't convince me. Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we'll never know if it's actually working then. The other thing about our Couch Potatoes episode, Saul, is that it was our first ever video podcast. I surprised you with it.
Yeah, I was not. When I initially got that text, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Why wouldn't you tell me this? And look, did I try any harder today knowing that it was a video podcast? I did not. Yeah. It's the same thing. So no, interesting surprise.
You're the one who you kept saying we got to be on YouTube. We got to be on YouTube.
You got to be on YouTube. Now, to be very clear, what you need on YouTube are podcast clips, video podcast clips. That's going to take some work because ain't nobody listening or watching a fucking hour-long episode of us talking.
Hey,
that's not happening.
42 people did without any promotion. That is what we're going to be doing moving forward. There will be the episodes on YouTube. If you listen to podcasts on YouTube for some reason, you can listen to the audio file on YouTube, but we'll be posting like 5 to 6 minute clips of our most salient bits on YouTube, and you can see us if that's
5 to 6 minutes, buddy.
Yeah, bro.
30 seconds.
30
we need
seconds.
Shorts.
No.
We need like quick. We not like, hey, Gen Z has no attention span. I have no attention span. 5 to 6 minutes is crazy. That's a whole podcast. No, quick. 30 seconds. Let's go.
Okay, maybe we'll experiment. Okay, anyways, YouTube, we're on it. It's not under the LA Food Podcast. It's under Acquired Taste. So look up It's Acquired Taste if you want to find us there. I'll put it in the show notes. So let's dive into recent eats. What have you been eating recently?
I've been eating good recently, man, because my sister Isa was visiting a couple weeks ago. Got to take her around, as I always do. We revisited River for an early dinner on a beautiful, Friday evening in first week of April. Yeah, the first week of April. Lovely experience. It was a good time. We went back for the mushroom dish. We had some dumplings. We had some Japanese sweet potato, which is one of my favorite dishes there, I think.
I can't remember that one.
Yeah, I think we ordered it when we were together. A couple beautiful hand rolls.
Yeah.
A good, lovely time and a really good vibe. The food was good. The food was good.
I feel like you're like burying something. You want to say something bad.
No, I'm not. It didn't hit as hard as the first time, as I recalled. But that's somewhat of a coming in with high expectations, right? After the first time of going in blind. And I was like, oh, this is all. I still loved the maitake mushrooms. I still really liked and enjoyed everything we had. The problem was I had a dinner at Ati the next day, which we will talk about more. And as I told you, and as we're going to talk about soon, that dinner kind of really took the weekend for me. So River was a good experience. We had some Sonny's Pizza.
Oh, everybody's telling me to go, man.
It's really good. I will say structurally, after I brought it home, I took it to go. And I think that the transport meant that we lost a little bit of structural integrity by the time I got here. Didn't matter. The pizza was fucking really delicious, East Coast style. Always happy to see it. Yeah, a couple Sonny's Pizza, River. That's a good week, man.
So everybody's telling me to go to Sonny's. They say it's the best New York style pizza to hit in LA in a while. Would you say it's better than Secret?
No.
Okay. I like that.
It's very tasty. It's very tasty. It's very good. I'm very happy it's here. Secret is something special for me.
It looks a little dark to me. It looks like they kind of like bake the hell out of it just from pictures.
No, I didn't have that experience. It was really good. I will say I liked it more than Apollonia's for sure.
Wow.
I put Sonny's above that. Yeah, I do. It's like a style thing. The amount of sauce on the Apollonia. And I just like we got the plain and the vodka from Sonny's. 2 great pizzas. Like I am excited to go back. It's good. Secret Pizza is number 1 in my heart.
Wow, number 1. Yeah. Probably because deep down it's a Jersey pie, and you feel some sort of spiritual connection.
I don't know deep down. I know it's not deep down. It's right up top, baby. Jersey pie. I grew up with this.
Sean, we love you. You also texted me like last week, I believe, that you had some sort of leftover fine dining take. Do you want to share that with our listeners?
Oh, yeah, dude. So last time we spoke, I believe we were talking about the conversation around Khushbu Shah's piece about should we get rid of fine dining, and I think had a really fun conversation about it. A key component of that conversation was me making the argument that Michelin, James Beard, World 50 must begin to include ethical considerations and treatment of workers in their evaluation for any of their awards because they bestow so much notoriety. I totally neglected to mention, and this is so key, that all media looking at you, Chef's Table, should be doing the same thing as well, obviously, because really that is where I think a lot of these chefs get a ton of their fame. It's not just the Michelin and the awards people. Netflix, Hulu, whoever it is, like network TV that is like creating these hagiographies of chefs who are doing like the Rene Redzepi, look at me, I'm a genius, and then like punching chefs in the back or whatever. It's totally their fault as well, to a huge degree, maybe even arguably a greater degree, that they're like showing this picture of a chef that doesn't fully match reality. So it's either, and I have a great idea here, either you have to do your homework if you're a producer of these shows and make sure you're not like fucking putting some abuser on a pedestal, right? Or I better see you punching chefs on the episode. Let's it's got to be one or the other. Like either let's show how it goes down for real, or we can't be making episodes about these dudes with like who everyone like whispers about being shitty people. Either you're showing me how you actually make good food with poking and prodding and bullying and all that shit, or I don't see you at all.
You know what?
That's how it should be.
They did this, and it was called Kitchen Nightmares with Gordon Ramsay.
No, but that's a performance. That's not reality, right? And literally it's in the name, right? So you're like, oh, Kitchen Nightmares. Like I guess it's true that it's like, hey, here's how Gordon Ramsay acts. And then back then everyone was like, cool.
Yeah.
This guy's awesome.
Everybody was like just quoting his best lines.
That's right. So then it works. That's fine, right? I don't know if it'll work the same way if you're punching dudes or women. But I like, look, if you're going to get your like slow-mo B-roll, like tossing flour and using tweezers, that B-roll better include some like spitting in the face and as you're yelling at some fucking stodge who's like 19 years old in there as well.
I'm just imagining that episode 1 of season 3 of The Bear, but instead of Carmi walking in on Renee just looking at pictures, like Renee is shoving some stagiaire's head down a toilet or something.
100%. That's what it should have been. By the way, The Bear is 100% included in this list of media that's like lionizing chefs that are like kind of dicks.
Yeah. Hey, that's a good take. I like it. So I did get some information that there are awards out there, like from major publications. I don't want to say who I got this from or what the publication is, because I think they might want to write about it at some point. But where these finalists, like when it comes to awarding finalists for these awards, they do implement a system where they give staff an anonymous survey in English and Spanish. So for certain awards, it is happening. But
wait, someone listened to the episode and was like, "Hey, guess what? We do this."
Yeah,
that's amazing. That's great.
Yeah, it's good.
I love that.
It's good. The only problem is we can't then take credit for them implementing that system.
We don't need credit. We don't need credit.
You don't need credit.
Yeah, I know. It just should happen. It's awesome that exists. I have some guesses as to who it might be.
We'll confer over dinner at Maidan tonight. What have I been eating recently? Well, thank you for asking, Saul. Well, we were in the desert last week. We weren't at Coachella. However, we were doing Coachella adjacent things, including trying one of the desert's most notorious hotspots. Have you heard of Bar Cecil?
Oh, yes, because you told me about it, I believe.
Great. Yeah. So Bar Cecil is kind of like the hotspot in the desert. Super hard to get a reservation, and you have to show up like 30 minutes before it opens to even get a sniff at the bar. They just opened a whole ass bar next door called Beaton's, and it's super cool vibe inside. Very like, mid-century classic Palm Springs vibe, but like almost like Wes Anderson-y in a way. Like it's got a little bit of whimsy to it. Yeah.
Music to my ears, baby. I love my boy Wes. Yeah.
The problem is that the menu is kind of whimsical too. It's one of the weirdest menus I've seen food-wise. It's like duck bao buns, spaghetti bolognese, pigs in a blanket, steak tartare. Like it's things.
Oh, I see. I was like, these things all sound normal, but what you mean is the combination of these things in one place.
It is virtually impossible to build a meal that feels cohesive there. It's like you are getting like a melting pot of eclectic weird at Beaton's. And not saying it's bad. Like we got the pigs in a blanket and they were pretty tasty. But just like we looked at the menu and we're like, we're going to be having dinner somewhere else, aren't we? And the answer was yes. The cocktails were fantastic though. And also it's a bit of, I think, a celebrity hotspot for the celebrities going out to Palm Springs. I don't want to dox anybody, but I will say, as we were sitting down, Paul Feig, are you familiar with him?
Oh yeah. He's been out there recently because he's been promoting Housemaid. Yeah, that movie Housemaid, which I just watched. Great time.
Good time. Okay, you recommend?
I think so. I mean, Amanda Seyfried's a legend. I think the dude, the husband in that, even though he's like whatever has a dark side, hot as motherfuck. That dude is so handsome.
Who is he?
His name is Brandon, I think Skalanek or something. I don't know. Like he's a weird name. I think that's why he's not more famous. He was also in the movie Drop, which is like a fun like horror thriller movie.
Oh yeah, I saw that one.
Dude, he's fine as hell. Sydney Sweeney. I never watched Euphoria really.
Yeah.
I don't think I get it. I don't think I get the appeal there, but Amanda is fucking crushing it.
We can break down the appeal in a future episode. The other meal I wanted to shout out is Pizzanista. And the reason I want to shout out this meal is because when you have a friend who just keeps telling you to go somewhere, but they're not really like a food friend, so you don't really trust it? This is exactly what happened to me with Pizzanista. And the friend in question is our mutual friend, Sammy.
Oh, really?
Like every time we would talk about pizza, he'd be like, but have you tried Pizzanista? But have you tried Pizzanista? And the answer to that is, yes, I tried Pizzanista when I was hammered in my 20s, going around the arts district, but I never really thought about it as like legit pizza. Bro, I went. It is a serious New York slice. I think it's very slept on. Sammy's got good pizza taste.
I'm not surprised by that. That's great. Pizzanista downtown LA. I will give it a shot.
It's also owned by a skater or former skater who shares your first name.
Sulman?
Yes.
Wow. Wait, the full name?
Well, not the whole name. It's not Sulman. Sulman. Oh, sorry, I just doxed you. But it's
bleep that. Actually believe that.
I'll believe it. It's I believe it's Salman Agha or Agah or something. So
okay.
Yeah, and I will bleep that so the listeners won't know your real name, Father Saul. All right, we're doing something a little bit different on today's episode. We are going to be pitting restaurants against each other. We are usually in a position of lifting the restaurant community up. Today we want to burn things down a little bit. So you wanna tell us how this came about?
So this is your idea. I did not ask for this, but as I alluded to earlier, in early April, I went to Ati in Echo Park with my sister and my wife. And as I walked out the door, I texted you, Ati is my favorite restaurant in LA. Mm-hmm. And it is. It was my second time going. I went with a friend last year. I just had a great time. And it hit a very specific zone for me. Of like, I'm not saying best. I'm saying this is my favorite. It's my favorite thing. And you immediately responded, that is an insane take. and you said, wait till you try Broken Spanish Comedor.
Yeah.
So we went on Monday to Broken Spanish Comedor, so I could try and compare and contrast. And today, with the idea that today we would discuss how these two Alta California restaurants compare to one another in a segment that you titled Versus. Versus.
Ati versus Broken Spanish Comedor. The way this is going to work is that we've each gone into our holes and we've come up with 3 reasons why our restaurant is superior to the other restaurant. So Saul has 3 reasons as to why he prefers Ati. I have 3 reasons as to why I prefer Broken Spanish Comedor. We're going to go reason for reason. And at the end, we can sort of like decide who made the best points between us, but I think it's you, the listeners, are going to be the real deciders. Which restaurant would you rather go to is the question that we'll leave you with. Now, I do want to preface this with saying I have been to Ati. I went to Ati about a year ago. I really enjoyed my experience. I had the duck with the mole. I had a few tacos, great guacamole with really nice tostadas. But the reason I sent over that message to you after you exclaimed that this was your favorite restaurant in LA, it's just because I didn't feel the same way after I left. Not to say I didn't like the meal. I actually quite liked the meal. But to hear you, someone whose taste I feel like I'm pretty familiar with, make such a massive claim, it just kind of like shook me to my core. So I felt like we had to talk about it.
Yeah, and I'm excited too. And I should say very quick going in. So obviously my restaurant is Ati. Your restaurant is Broken Spanish Comedor. I had a great time at Broken Spanish. You said we're like tearing things down. We're actually not. We are celebrating 2 great restaurants. We are arguing over which one we each might respectively prefer.
Yeah.
But I highly recommend Broken Spanish and really enjoyed our meal there without a doubt.
Yeah. So now that the niceties are out of the way, let's get down to the nitty gritty. Saul, you want to give me your first reason?
The first reason why this is okay. Again, this is a little contrived. I'm just going to say it. You can take this out if you want. But I do truly deeply feel this way. Like, I do feel this. Menu to menu, Ati versus Broken Spanish, when you look across, 1, the construction of the menu, I'll say, and 2, when you compare like-to-like dishes, for example, the duck mole taco entree at Ati versus the mole almendrado, chicken thigh, hazelnut salsa seca, and mole taco at Comedor. You've compared the Caesar salads. And I'd say just in general, compare the heavy hitter plates, the big entrees across the 2. Ati delivers for me at a higher level of deliciousness, overall experience, and moorishness, and literally addiction of those dishes than their respective counterparts at Broken Spanish. We had the barbacoa and the mole at Broken Spanish. I've had the duck mole now twice. I've had the sea bream, and I've had an octopus special at Ati. And literally, like, I had these meals 2 weeks apart, and I already think about the entrees at Ati much more than I do at Broken Spanish.
Okay, counter. Wasn't there a moment during your dinner when your wife very loudly exclaimed, "I do not like this"?
No. Well, yes. So this is gonna be a shitty Yelp review for her. My wife does not like Mexican food.
Which
she just doesn't like. Her like it's. I'm not saying it's fucking Emily's favorite restaurant. By the way, in this argument, I'm not saying Ati should be anyone else's favorite restaurant.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not. That's not the argument. It is my favorite restaurant. When we the chef at Ati was serving our dishes, and I'm like having a great time. My sister's having a fucking great time. Emily goes in for the fish that she ordered, the sea bream, and then just like turns to me right as the chef walks up and goes, "I don't like this very much." And I just like look at her like with you and she just goes like, "I just like don't prefer this fish as much as other fish I've had." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I like it." And then he walks away, and I was like, "That was a chef. He definitely heard you. That was rude. That was very rude." But to be fair, I had been like loudly complimenting the meal all night, so hopefully he got that message.
It all evens out. Look, no, that's fair. I look, that's your first reason. I think it's a little bit lazy for you to like start with, "Oh, the food is better." Like that's, but it is what it is.
That's better. But the food, and I want to be clear. The food's not just better because the food at Broken Spanish is very good. The food at Ati, when you have it, you remember. It creates like a memory for you. I remember having duck mole a year ago with my friend. I remember that plate sitting down, us each having a bite and being like, "Oh, this is special." Because I think a great restaurant does need to have it's like cleanup hitter, right? Or its closing act. I'm actually not finding the right word, but it's like, this is the grand finale.
Yeah.
This
the
is like
showstopper.
The thing hits the plate. The showstopper. That's exactly what I was looking for. The showstopper dish. And Broken Spanish has a couple that like are in the zone that qualify. Your lamb neck and your mole and so on. Atis are just at a higher level.
Okay. That's your reason number one. Pretty basic, I have to say. Mine is also kind of my first reason as to why I prefer Broken Spanish Comedor is about how the restaurant makes you feel. This is such a great restaurant for longtime LA foodies because it is a nostalgia explosion for people who have been following the Los Angeles food scene for a very long time. First of all, Ray Garcia, the chef of Broken Spanish Comedor, he is a legend of the game. I remember first reading about him back when he was holding it down at Fig at Santa Monica's Fairmont Miramar Hotel, a hotel restaurant, and what he was doing there by using the fresh produce at the Santa Monica Farmers Market, it was making Jay Gold lose his mind over a hotel restaurant. Then, of course, 2015, he opens Broken Spanish in downtown Los Angeles, and that was like one of my favorite. I'm pretty sure I celebrated a birthday there. Like, it was a very special restaurant to me. So when that closed, I couldn't wait to see what he did next. So couple all of that and the fact that Ray Garcia is back on the scene in a big way in this A-frame building in like Culver City, which in and of itself has had some very happy food memories for myself over the years, going back to when Roy Choi had his A-frame restaurant there. And even, the short-lived pizzeria there, Best Bet by Jason Neroni. I had a couple good meals there with friends as well. So just all of that explosion together, this restaurant, when I walked in, it immediately felt like home. So if you're a Los Angeles foodie who's been eating in Los Angeles for like the last 10 years, and I know a lot of our listeners are, this is going to immediately just put a smile on your face when you walk in. So number one, that's why Broken Spanish Comedor etched itself in my heart in a way that Ati did not the first time around.
I love how your first reason is all the memories you have not eating at Broken Spanish specifically.
Hey,
I'm just noting it. I'm just noting it, right? You're just like, my number one favorite thing about this restaurant, all the memories I have of not eating here specifically and eating elsewhere instead. Now, it's a great segue into my reason number two.
Okay, let's hear it.
Which is why, again, when I say favorite restaurant, this is a personal thing, right? And so you can know where I'm going on this. The A-frame building is iconic. Mm-hmm. For us, we have to drive 40 minutes across the city to a, not very walkable patch of Culver, with a loud, like 4-lane, 2-way street outside. You pay for valet parking, even though you can pull in and park yourself.
You pay for valet parking. I found street, brother.
I mean, happy for you. You got there late, sort of. Not really, but like. Whereas, where is Ati? Ati is situated right across the street where we used to live together, bro, in Echo Park. We used to walk to that parking lot a couple times a month to hit Sunset Beer, RIP, the legendary beer store / like bar back in the day. It's sad what's happened to that spot because the Sunset Beer got pushed out by landlords and all that stuff. But there's just a fundamental speaking, like it's the same reason back at you. Except for the reason why I feel this nostalgia is because this place, this neighborhood, holds such a dear section of my heart and brain. And going back and being like, oh, there's something special here in this restaurant, which I think there is, is meaningful. The location and vibe I find really welcoming, warm, happy. The crowd, it was fun looking around at the other couples or groups at the tables. There was a date happening at Ati when we went a couple of weeks ago with like this pretty old, kind of like schlubby dude and like
Paul Feig?
No. I don't think so. But he had like a WeHo vibe, like more of like or like a Beverly Hillsy vibe, and like a young, very well dressed woman. And we were like just looking at them like, what is the relationship here? Is your dad? Is it something else? Because also like I think we know. Like I don't to be clear, but also like that's something that you tend to see maybe at like your hotel bars or like fancy restaurants on the west side of the city. I'm like, oh, it's kind of delightful that we're like, where do they live in Echo Park? Who are these people? Like, where do they come from? And other people, and just like the energy of the place, the chefs out serving. It's just a great time in a place that means a lot to me. Yes, Echo Park has changed a lot, but that nostalgia for me personally holds more weight than I don't know whatever your like broad description of like memories was.
Wow. So you're telling me reason number 2 basically is dancing on Sunset Beer's grave while being at a restaurant that's good for affairs.
How dare you? Fuck you with your messaging points and spin bullshit. It's honoring the site on which Sunset Beer once stood, and also next to it, not technically the same location.
I just love the idea that before every meal at Ati, you have to acknowledge, like, we just want to acknowledge that we're on Sunset Beer ground, you know?
Well, you don't, no, but you don't have to. You don't have to. All you need to do is feel it deep in your heart and soul that I had great memories in this place and I'm about to make a new one.
Okay. If that is a compelling reason to you, dear listener, then you might not like this next one. But I'm going to talk less about nostalgia with my next point, and I'm going to talk about historic significance, okay? The key thesis here is that chefs like Ray Garcia walked so chefs like Andrew Ponce of Ati could run. And here's what I mean, right? Ray has been heralded as one of the key figures of Alta California Cocina, a term that Bill Esparza claims to have coined, by the way. And what is Alta California Cocina? Well, it's Los Angeles' very own approach to Mexican-American cooking that blends traditional Mexican flavors with California seasonal cooking. It's something that could only have been born in Los Angeles, but that has given birth to modern Mexican cooking across the United States. It was pioneered by chefs like Wes Avila of your beloved Guerrilla Tacos, Carlos Salgado of Taco Maria, and of course, Ray Garcia. And it's all about this distinctly bicultural identity. So Broken Spanish Comedor, to me, isn't just a restaurant. It's really a return of one of Los Angeles' most significant chefs, I would say, of the last 10 to 15 years. Like the fact that, yes, he's had a restaurant in downtown Los Angeles at level 8 called K Barbaro. K Barbaro is interesting. It's like a steakhouse. It's like almost like a version of I think like Argentinian or Brazilian steakhouse. Somebody can fact check me on that. But it feels a little like a Vegas restaurant. This is Ray Garcia's first, like, to me, real personal project in a minute. So to me, just the fact that we have one of LA's most influential chefs cooking again is reason in and of itself to make the trek to Broken Spanish Comedor.
I mean, you should absolutely make the trek to Broken Spanish and then visit Ati 8 more times. Like, because I'm glad, again, yet another reason in which you're talking less about the experience you had at the restaurant, a great restaurant in Broken Spanish. It's amazing that Ray Garcia pioneered this cuisine. And it's even more amazing how Chef Andrew's running with it.
Ooh. That was actually a fucking fire way to transition the point, I will say. Make your last point.
The last one, I kind of have hit the two. I have like a mix of two things. One, I think this is not my true reason, but I just want to make the point, and this is true of both these restaurants. But I really especially feel it at Ati, which is, you know, when you think about a restaurant that's like your favorite, I think it needs to feel like a neighborhood restaurant, right? Like Bestia could never, or like Bavel could never be like my favorite restaurant. Like I love these restaurants, and I take people out from out of town there all the time. But I want, like, the place becomes my favorite, like, in my heart, because I'm like, I could eat here every week and it wouldn't destroy my wallet. I would never get bored. I would feel like I was at home. That speaks to the second broader part of the point, which is about the service and joy that I experienced, which, to be clear, we had a lovely server at Broken Spanish as well. He was hitting parlays during dinner. He was a fucking legendary time. Betting advice. He was a great time to talk to. I will note, they only flipped our plates once during dinner at Broken Spanish, as we're going through about 8 different courses, like dishes that we'd ordered, which is fine. I mean, like it is. I mean, I would never have thought about that. I would never have crossed my mind for that to even bother me. Except for at Ati, they flipped it 3 times. And so every time I had a taco or a new thing on my plate, it was a fresh experience. And that's like a small detail. It's tiny. But the service was lovely. Chef Andrew was out in the kitchen. And not only that, when we went, there was a birthday party happening on a table outside with family. It looked like maybe an East Asian descent of some kind. And they were having this lovely reunion. They had brought like tea lights outside. They'd set it up. There was even like almost like there was like music that they, I think, had brought, and Chef Andrew was out there interacting with them and serving with them, and they were there before we got there, and they stayed until after we left, and just having like a lovely, like, I don't know, they were doing their thing outside for this personal special occasion. The care and attention with which the staff at Ati and Chef Andrew treated us. And also, by the way, the fact that he is, and I'm sure this happening in Broken Spanish too, but like the fact that he was continuing to experiment, flip menu. He had an octopus special on the menu that fucking crushed when we were there. I don't know. This is a broader, vague point, but it's more like this is like the puzzle piece that fits everything together. The menu, the perfect size menu, all bangers. That's great. Location of meaning, accessible in the city, in a place where you can, by the way, finish dinner and then walk down and hit a bar crawl if you want to right after with your friends. Right? Can't really do that at Broken Spanish given that's location. You are in the midst of a lively neighborhood. Reason number 2.
There's a good bar nearby.
Cool, but like it's not a nice street to walk down, right? Like it's not like we're gonna start trekking,
That's
right?
fair.
Number 3, essentially the magic piece. The like I like being here. I enjoy the feeling of what this is, and I can picture myself being here over and over again, and I like desire it. Like I have a neuron path in my brain that's like Ati. It's like for Ati. I think about going back.
Poetic, bro. Well, I'm glad you bring up the point about neighborhood restaurant because that actually has a lot to do with my final point, okay? Are you ready for one of my famous trademark tortured sports analogies?
Yeah. Every time I hear them back on the podcast, by the way, I'm like, I should have pushed back harder. This makes no sense. This is like either inaccurate or nonsensical. Anyway, let's hear it.
This feels like Ray Garcia's Danny Welbeck moment, okay?
What the fuck? Why can't you make one reference that more than 2 listeners will get, if that?
Because I get to explain who Danny Welbeck is to a whole new audience. Right. It's wonderful. It's great storytelling. Okay.
Emily's Emily's fast forwarding right now, I can promise you.
As are half of our listeners. Danny Welbeck was a highly rated young striker in soccer. He had a good career at massive clubs like Arsenal and Man United, but he never really reached the heights he was expected to because of injuries. And for the last few years, in the end of his career, Danny's been playing at a small team called Brighton and Hove Albion, and he's shed from the burden of these high expectations, and he's got a bit more experience under his belt. He's playing the best soccer of his life. He's scoring more goals than ever before. He's widely considered one of the best liked dudes in the game, and he's even being touted for an unlikely England call-up ahead of the World Cup. Now, to me, Broken Spanish Comedor is Ray Garcia's Brighton. He's clearly not trying to chase Michelin stars or James Beards or anything like that here. He's just doing what he's learned with all of his amazing experience, zero pressure to prove himself, and just churning out dishes that, to me, every dish we had was a goal. It was a surefire hit that maybe didn't blow my mind. Okay, hear me out. I will agree with you that there was no dish that I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, that's the showstopper that I need to go back for. But pretty much every dish hit the spot and tasted good. The refried lentils with enough lard in there to clog a minor artery. There was the fresh Campachi ceviche, had that slightly vegetal carrot habanero clamato in there. The smoky Japanese sweet potatoes. You didn't like the chicharrones on top. I'll never kick a chicharron out of bed. Had a really nice salsa matcha butter on there. Then, of course, you mentioned it already, but the barbacoa lamb neck with perfect house-made tortillas. Like, these are all dishes that are just hits. They're just hits. They're things that like taste good while you're eating them. Nobody's complaining. Maybe nobody's like thinking about them days later. But that's why, to me, Broken Spanish Comedor is a much more like neighborhood restaurant than Ati. I feel like I could see myself going for a casual dinner at Broken Spanish Comedor much more easily than I could at Ati.
That's wrong. I mean, like they're close. They're close. But that's wrong. Remind me, did we run out of tortillas during our final dishes?
Because we didn't ask for more.
How much did tortillas cost?
You have the menu up. Why don't you tell me?
$7 for a full pack, $4 for a half pack. For your final plates. How much do tortillas cost at Ati?
Why don't you let me know?
Nothing, baby.
They give you free tortillas?
Free tortillas with each plate.
Yeah, but
at least I can go through and itemize my menu. I hope I'm not like being inaccurate here, but I never had to ask for more.
What if you run out of tortillas?
They brought more. We had enough to take home.
They just bring you more tortillas. Do you think you were getting special treatment?
We also. I actually don't even think we needed to ask for more. They had tortillas come with each entree: octopus, mole, and fish. between us all, that was plenty, and I had enough to take home and reheat and make tacos at home. I ate leftovers of ati, bro. When's the last time you see me eat leftovers?
That is actually a big credit.
That's not my thing normally, and I fucking did. Now, no, again, I don't like this versus format in general. I hope we never do this again. Broken Spanish is very good. It's a very good neighborhood restaurant. If you're on the west side, I think it's a great idea to take people there. Maybe I'd take people to Simone first, personally, but that's like a little bit more of a hot spot / higher cost. I don't know. It's probably pretty comparable. Ati, I think, even based on the size alone, like simply the size of Ati being a smaller, more intimate space, I think lends itself to being more of what I would call a neighborhood restaurant experience than what I experienced at Broken Spanish. And not just because of the location, not because like how far I live from Broken Spanish, but if I lived in Culver, I think going to Broken Spanish would be like, okay, we need to find an occasion. I mean, frankly, this fact alone and the lack of active foot traffic outside makes me worry for them a little bit, just based on the location versus an Ati, which is like right in the mix of things. You're right across the street from Little Joy and Quarter Sheets. Yeah. And you can walk down to El Moro these days, I guess, if you want, and get something afterwards if you would really like.
Yeah, but I mean, on the west side, everything is basically a driving destination, and there are neighborhood restaurants that succeed for a long, long time with people driving to them. So, it's just kind of like where you're situated in town. Look, I agree with you. The versus thing, I didn't like the versus thing for having to proclaim a winner. But what I do like it for is what we just did is we both gave, I think, really compelling reasons to go visit both restaurants.
Anyone listening should absolutely go to both. Tell us which one you like more.
Yeah. See if you're more Team Luca or Team Saul. Although I will say I have been personally convinced to go to Ati again by you. So I can't wait to go again. Yeah. So who knows? Maybe we'll do this again. Maybe we won't. But what I do know is we'll always do Chef's Kiss Big Miss. Are you ready to get started?
Let's do it.
The James Beard Awards are in hot water again. Sort of. According to Annika Shaukat at Best Food Blog, a Denver chef's outspoken advocacy triggered an ethics investigation with murky outcomes raising bigger questions about whether the Beards are quietly punishing dissent while preaching equity. Layer in transparency issues, underfunded judges, and ongoing diversity gaps, and Shaukat makes the case that you've got an awards body that still hasn't figured out who gets a seat at the table or who can even afford to be in the room. Saul, I don't think you read this piece, so let me give you a little bit of background on what happened. Or did you?
I actually did read this one because you sent it to me separately, if you recall.
I did.
Yeah, you pulled it out. Yeah. So what seems to be the case here is that a Denver chef kind of was calling out other chefs in the local scene for bad behavior.
Like wage theft and stuff like that.
Yeah. That's right. And then seemed to get backlash directly from James Beard as a result. I think he was reported by like the other chefs being like, hey, this guy's like stirring up all this trouble. James Beard investigated him, and then he and his partner were left off the most recent James Beard sort of nominees list, or semifinalist list at least.
Yeah. So what do you think? Jaw-dropping chef's kiss of an expose, or kind of yawn-inducing big miss of where like there's smoke but maybe not fire?
Yeah. I guess there's smoke. To me, it's like not enough information.
Yeah.
Like TBD, which maybe you could call a big miss, but that's not me saying it's a big, like, doesn't look great for James Beard, that's for sure. But like, I think I don't know enough info and didn't get enough info from the article to like really be sure. Like I read the whole article and be like, and was like, are we sure that they got like blacklisted?
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know, but I couldn't tell.
No, that's my big miss of this whole situation. Look, I love independent food media, but I subscribed to Best Food Blog for this article, and I was a little disappointed by the information in it because it was literally just one person's account of what happened with not a ton of other reporting there. So to me, this doesn't really like meet journalism standards.
It's a blog. It's not a newspaper.
For sure. But I'm just saying, like, in terms of like how seriously we should take this, I think we need more information, to your point.
It's good that it's on the radar alone, I guess, right? So hopefully there's like follow-up. But
but I'm just saying, like, it's cut, like they're posting on social media like something, so James Beard has another scandal or something, right? And then you click on it and it's like, well, it's a little bit of a clickbaity headline because actually not a lot has been proven here. So it's all that to say, I don't know. It left me a little cold.
Fair enough.
Okay, moving on. This one, left me a little less cold. California Pizza Kitchen sent San Fernando Valley pizzeria Anna a cease and desist for naming their barbecue chicken pizza the CPK, a move that the pizzeria said was done in tribute to the iconic SoCal pizza chain. Now, the letter that the lawyers sent to Anna was a little bit weird. Here's what it said, quote, "When we heard that your menu features a barbecue chicken pizza lovingly referred to as the CPK, we had a moment," the lawyers write. "A proud moment, a nostalgic moment, a lightly legal moment. You see, while imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, trademark law is the least flexible form of friendship, ... The letter goes on to strongly suggest Anna changed the name of the pizza before the, quote, legal team starts feeling a sense of purpose, unquote. So, cutesy cease and desist letters from massive chains to mom and pop pizzeria, chef's kiss or big miss.
Massive big miss. This it seems like this lawyer is like sick of being a lawyer and is like trying to try their hand at like, I don't know, like comedy or something, or like they're like, I'm really gonna do some flair. It almost reads to me like a Last Week Tonight segment bit.
Yeah,
it's kind of like the way it's written, even very odd, very strange. I will say, to be clear, or to be fair, I do believe you have to enforce trademarks in order to keep them, generally. Yeah. I highly doubt CPK would have lost its trademark over this pizza. And this is a super weird and kind of condescending vibe. Don't love it.
It's the condescension of it. It's like, this is not cute, you know? I'd honestly like rather a lawyer call me on the phone and be like, yo, bro, I really don't want to come after you, but like, I got these bosses. I get paid to do this shit. Please just make my life a little easier. Change the name of your fucking pizza. Wouldn't you rather just like that straight talk?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like maybe the legal team should have talked to comms at some point in this process and had them look over, because it seems like they're trying to be nice, but they so miss the mark. Yeah. Like I assume they can't be trying to be these like dicks, right? They come off as dicks.
No.
But like,
they for sure try.
The
this happens, right? Like, for example, the Olympics got into a massive thing a few years ago, around the London Olympics, actually, because there was this online group of knitters, like grandmas knitting stuff, who were knitting like Olympic merch for the Olympics, and the USOC sent them a cease and desist letter that was phrased in a friendly manner as well, like not actually like, we're coming after you legally, but please stop doing this. And the New York Times picked it up, and the headline was, "The USOC knits itself into a controversy." So it's just like, trigger happy lawyers are a problem.
Message to all lawyers: you're not cool. Like, you just can't. Like, it's not. I'm sorry. Like, happy for your good career. You're not cool. Please don't try to be cool.
You're not cool. Yeah. You're not cool. Okay. Next one. Food and Wine dropped a monster guide to what it calls its 2026 Global Tastemakers, i.e. their annual awards celebrating the best destinations for culinary travel around the world. Some interesting shouts in there. Hong Kong was named the best global city for food and drink, with London coming in second, your personal favorite. Ojai was named one of the top 10 small cities in the U.S. for food. LA was named the number 3 best city in the U.S. for coffee. Hayato was named the 6th best restaurant in the U.S. Bar Next Door in West Hollywood was named 4th best bar in the U.S. And LAX was named the 7th best airport for food and drink in the U.S. God help us all. Most interestingly, though, to me, LA was named the 3rd best city in the U.S. for food, behind New York and Chicago. So, is LA's bronze medal a disrespectful big miss or a fair enough chef's kiss?
Look, I do have to spend more time in Chicago, but when I've gone, the food's been fucking awesome.
Ooh.
I can't lie. Like, I of course never want to see disrespect against LA. I just like know LA better than Chicago, so I can't make the argument. All I will say is that Chicago has some really good food. I don't know if I would say on the whole it's a better or more diverse and like kind of breathtaking food city the way I think LA is, and I don't know how much they weighted that sort of diversity. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do think Chicago knows its way around a good meal.
Yeah, I mean, they actually like wrote an adjacent piece saying, is Chicago actually about to like eat New York's lunch as the best food city in the US. So it's very much seen as a food city that's trending up. Look, I'm hoping to go there for the James Beard Awards this year. So I haven't been back to Chicago in many years, probably since I ran the marathon there in 2016 or something. So I'm very, very excited to go. I hear fantastic things, but I gotta say, it just made the next, or what's it called, the hairs on the back of my neck stand up, because I was like, there's like LA. LA is massive.
LA is probably number 2 in reality. But it's more of like a spicy look as like a conversation starter and kind of a maybe like, I don't know, controversy stirring thing. I see it.
Yeah,
I see it.
Yeah, look, I'm sure there's an argument to be made. Maybe the argument is like, per square mile or something, Chicago has incredible hits, which I could see an argument there, but I don't know, man. It just rubbed me the wrong way. Okay, but hey, good job, Food and Wine. You got us talking. Next one. This is one you've been dying to talk about. Luke Fortney of the New York Times penned a piece exploring what he calls the restaurant relationship gap. The article breaks down the romantic relationships, where one person is refreshing resi at midnight and the other is perfectly happy with chicken tenders. It argues that these mismatches in taste, spending, and curiosity around food are actually proxies for bigger lifestyle and values differences. In other words, if you can't agree on where to eat, good luck agreeing on anything else. Saul, is the concept of a restaurant relationship gap a too close to home chef's kiss or a wildly off the mark big miss?
My name is Saul. I'm in a restaurant gap relationship. Emily sent this article to me, and we were just dying over it. For those who don't know, Emily could not care less about restaurants, and kind of like doesn't get them as a concept for the most part. What's been funny is that like when we've gone to like when we've gone to like Michelin starred places, she's like, "Oh, I get it now," and she's like, "Okay, maybe I just like the best or something." But I mean, I eat out less than I traditionally have, in part because my wife's like, I simply do not care.
Yeah.
Look, I don't think it's necessarily a proxy for bigger lifestyle differences. The people they were talking about in this piece it was kind of like people who date and like you get a message on Hinge from a dude who's like, "Here's my night. I take you to like whatever, Four Horsemen or whatever.
Four Horsemen.
Four Horsemen, or there's another one too. Fort Charles, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So then we fly you to Paris and take you to blah blah blah, and then we go to like Maido in Peru, and the other people's like basically using restaurants as a proxy for a personality, which neither of us would ever dare do, right?
I mean, literally, I thought this was like the biggest flex in my 20s, like being like, yo,
yeah,
I know the good spots. I'll pay for half of it, but I'll take you to the good spots,
See, I'm proud of myself for never quite having, you know what, actually, I think a little bit of that seeped into me. Like early in our relationship with Emily, I was like, I know a spot, we'll go to eat this really good dinner. And learn pretty quick that wasn't gonna fly.
But they don't, it's our way of showing love. It's our love language. It's like
100%.
I want to share this with you. The good thing is, I think my wife at the start of our relationship cared less about food. In fact, I think she was vegan or at least vegetarian, but definitely she had been vegan at parts of her life. And over time, though, she's really like grown into it. Like it's something that she's become excited about over the years. Could we have survived if that restaurant relationship gap hadn't closed? I don't know.
It's interesting you say this. I perceive you and your wife going out all the time, like as having like eating out often. I mean, you'd have the countdown, so like it just kind of happens naturally as part of that. But
she's a willing participant.
I can't really imagine a world.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Anyways, I think this is a good concept. Good concept. We'll give it a chef's kiss. Okay, next one. Very pertinent to what we're doing tonight. Friend of the pod, Bill Addison of the LA Times, wrote a glowing review of Medan Market, crowning it as one of LA's most exciting new food destinations, less a food hall and more a fully dialed-in culinary collective. As a companion to the review, however, Bill dropped a ranking of the 10 best dishes at the market, highlighting Poncho's Tlayudas at Lugia, the Pozole flight at Malena, and the Lebanese breakfast at Compass Rose. So, what do you think of this approach Bill took of listifying his review? Is it a chef's kiss way of inviting clicks and saving the paper, or a big miss that cheapens the age-old tradition of restaurant criticism?
No, I have no problem with this. Bill makes lists. Bill's responsible for the LA list.
True.
Like, why would this be an issue?
I think some old heads will be like, oh, we don't need another ranking. But I have to say, this is great. It's double the clicks, one piece of content, double the clicks. And frankly, one of my favorite parts of any review is seeing the part where at the end they summarize what to order. This is just like a more helpful way of doing that. So, Bill, we're all in on this one. Last one for you, Saul, before we go and meet at dinner at Maidon. Final one, Chopped is getting a spin-off called Chopped Castaways, where the usual mystery basket format gets dropped into a full-on survival setting. Hosted by the legendary Ted Allen, the show strands 12 chefs on a remote island, forcing them to earn ingredients through physical challenges like fishing and archery before cooking over open fire. It starts as a team competition and shifts to individual battles, leaning hard into a survivor-style format, all building toward a 100K prize. Saul, is this a couch potatoes worthy chef's kiss or a who is this even for big miss?
I will be seated. I will be seated.
Really?
I haven't watched Chopped in a long time. Like it gets like, it's fun like to kill time or whatever, but like it gets pretty repetitive pretty quick. Yeah. I am a Survivor fan and a Survivor watcher. I am an enjoyer of food TV. I think this is pretty high risk, high reward, like high floor, low ceiling. No, high ceiling, low floor is what I think the show is. Yeah. A lot is gonna ride on who these contestants are and what their vibe is,
and the vibe of the show. Like there's a way to make it good, and there's a way to make it too cute. There's a way to make it too camp, and there's a way to do this. I am not fully confident the Food Network is the place for this show. Like if this were a Netflix show, I'd be like, let's fucking go. But we'll just have to see. I have faith in Ted. Ted's a great guy. Saul, I believe you have a Shitty Yelp review.
Simple Shitty Yelp review this week. I mean, I was going to give Emily one for the for the looking up and being like, I don't... Sebream-gate, famously. The other one, the more personal one, which is a rough one for me, is I have been married for 6 weeks or so now.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
They said it never lasts.
My hit rate for remembering to wear my ring is far too low. Because you're supposed to, I guess, wear it all the time. Like I've never worn any jewelry. I've never worn anything on my hands, right? So specifically for me, sleeping, it feels weird. So I take it off and put it on my nightstand. And the next day I'm at work and I'm like, oh, fuck me. Because I've forgotten my ring on my nightstand. I need to figure out a way to I've gotten, I think, a little bit better at it. My actual wedding band is in the shop right now getting resized. So this is a cheaper Amazon version. Maybe that is part of the reason for it. But it is brutal to be in the car with Emily. And she's like, let me see your hand. And I'm like, oh, fuck me. God damn it.
Be honest. Do you feel less married? Do you feel less married when you're not wearing it?
I legit don't. I feel literally I feel naked, right? It's I really love wearing the ring. I it feels good on the finger. I think it looks good. It's got a gold and shiny and shit.
Yeah.
I like it. And then I feel the feeling is embarrassment. Almost everyone knows that I fucked up, or if I'm not wearing pants or something. So tough look for me. I will get better at it.
I think because you're still in your early days, we can give this 3 stars. You're not
3 stars.
It's not on purpose. It's this is lackluster husband behavior, but you're a new husband.
Emily's gonna have some word for you next time we
look. If you were doing this before we were going out on a bar crawl, it would be very different. But this is just
it's the same. It's all the same.
Well, no, because then we could question your intentions. But this is
who do I talk to at bar crawls? I talk to an Italian man and his Middle Eastern friends.
It's true. I'm just saying it would be more suspicious if you were.
I see where you're going. You're obviously inebriated going to social places.
Yeah.
I understand the suggestion. I resent it. But yeah, I would never. I think if I showed up at a bar crawl and forgot my ring, I'd have to go home and get it. I'd have to go leave, or I'd have to go to a CVS. I'd have to go to CVS and be like, I need a ring. I cannot proceed.
Hell yeah. I've got one too, actually, real quick before we transition to our interview with Natalie and Harry over at Tamont. We were driving home the other night, And we live really close to a taqueria that's really well known. It's like, the one of the like best Tijuana style taquerias. And they have carne asada, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've been watching Bill Esparza's stories on carne asada and how to do it right. And I know from Bill's stories that you want the meat to be cooked over white coals. You don't want the flames to be like licking super high and basically like burning or charring the meat overly in a way that's not pleasant. We're driving by on Hell's, that's the taqueria, and I look to the left and I look at the carne asada and I see just flames going up. And I look at that, it's like, I just make a comment to my wife and I say, yeah, it's not good. It's not good. It's not the way it should be. And she just looked at me and was like, you're such an asshole. Like, you're such an asshole. Like, it's like, I've become so much more judgmental over the last like 5 years. I hate it. So yeah, that's my shitty Yelp review.
And also, I mean, look, Bill knows what he's talking about and you've read Bill, sure, but you don't really know what you're talking about.
No, the fact that I have the audacity to think I can judge a carne asada based on just one glance,
that's the
ridiculous.
audacity.
Yeah. How many you giving me?
One. That's a solid one.
Love it.
Right in the pocket.
Love it. Okay. I'll see you at Maidan in just a little bit, and we'll be back right after the break with Harry and Natalie of Tamont. Who do we have the pleasure of speaking with today?
I'm Natalie Dial.
I'm Harry Posner, and we're the co-owners of Tamont Restaurant over in Westchester.
Tamont Restaurant in Westchester. I'm really excited. I didn't realize before I got here that we are actually sitting above your mother's bookstore, Natalie?
That's true. The Book Jewel is right here next to us. We share a building. We're on the second floor. We're looking down on one of the coolest retail spots. It was always my mom's dream to have an independent bookstore in Westchester. Both my parents grew up here.
No way.
And so her dream came true in 2020. They made it through COVID, and here they are. They're kicking. It's great.
That's amazing. So I didn't actually realize that you guys had businesses so close by. Does that make things easier, or does it provide any sort of friction? You can never escape your parents, never escape your in-laws, Harry?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'll let you answer that.
No, okay. We have a 3-year-old, and grandparents live 5 minutes down the road, and it is an incredible help that they love to babysit, help out with whatever they can, and if the downside is that they're coming in for dinner 3 times a week, there's no problem.
No,
Very diplomatic.
it was really great also to kind of build this synergy around each other and try to make something for the community and play off one another.
Yeah.
Right? That's one of the reasons why we were really adamant about including coffee and pastries when we started.
Yeah,
We
it was
knew it would be
increase the business in the morning for the bookstore, also do the things that we wanted to kind of do and have our space be an all-day spot, like one of the third spaces, essentially, that people could hang out here. We have a rooftop. You can take coffee and pastries to the rooftop. You can then go to the bookstore or vice versa. They do events at night. The space that we're sitting in now is our private event space. They've hosted things in here,
cool.
and that drums up business for our nighttime as well. There was one night they had an event up here, and then everyone came down for dinner afterwards.
yeah.
And it was like, this is what it's all about, having both businesses synergistically pulling together, and it feels like the community really loves it.
I love that.
Hopefully.
I love that you said third space too. And I was going to ask you a different icebreaker question, but because you said the word third space, and because I feel like we are losing third spaces in our society, can you think about a third space that was important to you growing up?
Okay, well, there's a famous park near where we lived, and
Which was where, by for the listeners who don't
okay, so I grew up in London, but I was born in LA. So very random, but we ended up moving to London when I was super young, hence the accent. And there was a very famous park very close to where we lived. And when we were like 15, 16, 17, 18, that was the third space. But that was for you can guess
Yes.
what that was for,
Yeah.
and like drinking, etc.
Yeah.
It's England. You can drink at any age. It's
Dude,
fine.
my third space of that ilk growing up in Zurich, Switzerland was literally under a bridge near the river. So
Yeah.
I completely understand.
Yeah, but we were just there for Christmas with my family and New Year's and drove past it, and they'd like the whole park was closed for New Year's, but that was where you'd watch like all the fireworks and things like
Damn.
that. So it was like, oh, that's kind of, I guess that's kind of interesting. Like, that just shut down the whole park.
Won't
For-
anybody think of the kids?
What is it? I know.
How about you now?
Is a third space that makes me think of Jack White for some reason. I think his like recording studio might be called.
I think that
something around that.
it might be. Yeah.
Is it like a community space or like an open gathering space?
Exactly, like a spot where you can kind of like go and it doesn't necessarily need to be like a restaurant or somewhere you need to like have a transaction at. It's a place
Right.
you can kind of like live in and spend
Yeah.
time in.
I mean, for me growing up, that would have been like the theater. I was very invested in dance and ballet when I was
cool.
younger. Yeah, I mean, so it would have been something like that.
Love it.
Love it.
That works. I
Yeah.
consider that a third space. Well, look, you two have, I mean, you've already kind of alluded to, the wild sort of journey that your lives have taken, Harry, with your, London to Los Angeles Los Angeles to London transit journey. But you two have one of those stories that sounds fake when it's written down. I read a bunch of articles in preparation for this, but I think it makes sense to maybe start in the Gambia. That's where you guys met?
Mm-hmm.
That's where we met.
Not Tinder? Are you sure?
This is Tinder for scientists and health professionals.
Yeah.
Let's all
and
meet up in a research compound in
for a
Africa.
certain age of Northern Europeans, it's also Tinder for something else. It was a very interesting place. Yeah. But yeah, we were both working there at the same compound, shall we say, that we were both doing research, and we had the LA connection, and we always kept in touch, and we knew we were going to see each other again at some point. We were just friends, and we just kept in touch, and then we started doing trips to places that we wanted to eat at. So anytime that we had like a bit of time off, and we had like a week or two, we would be like, okay, where do we want to go next? Let's go exploring around the world together and eat.
And this wasn't romantic yet?
That point it
I was
got
going to
romantic.
say, that
Yeah.
feels like, yeah.
That point got romantic.
I'm surprised you got that out of an Englishman. I was ready for him to pitch that question over to me.
Well, I know Natalie thoroughly enjoys it when I describe our first moments, I guess.
I love
Yeah.
that. So there was clearly a bond over food from
Mhm.
the start.
Oh yeah.
How did who sparked that first? Was it just
When we were in the Gambia, we met when we were 23. Harry was still a med student, living in London. I was doing a master's. I lived in San Francisco. So we came together. We were there for like, I don't know, 2 months, something like that. And immediately from the beginning, I knew that he was more interested in cooking than he was being in the clinic or doing anything that, he was there to do.
why he was like figuring out what snacks he could make with like lab tools or
Yeah,
what?
not even baking. He was like, what fish can I barter for at the fish market? I'm going to do sashimi. We don't have any wasabi, but I'm going to put some English mustard on it and it's going to be perfect. And it was.
Wow.
And only the most adventurous of us would eat it. But then it was so fun. Everyone was just like, I want to be friends with you. And I mean, they had incredible seafood there, like insane tiger prawns. And then I'd whisper in his ear, can you make spicy tiger prawn pasta? And like my favorite things. And then he'd start making it.
Wow.
So that's how it started.
Was this, and were you cooking at home before you went, like this was a skill you had developed at a young age?
Or, yeah, parents they both said that they had to learn how to cook because the other one couldn't, which is like, oh, yeah, whatever. So they both cooked.
Okay.
Every night. My dad's thing was that the most important thing was to have a hot breakfast every day before school. And that was my, like, no matter what kind of
Hot breakfast every day.
Yeah,
Wow.
he was very English. Like a boiled egg, whatever. It just had to, like, some care had to go into it, and then you could go off to school, kind of thing. It was very sweet. It was very sweet.
It's also like one of those things. I remember I used to work for the Olympics to bring the Olympics to Los Angeles. And we did a bunch of random events with like random Olympians for the past. And one of them was Greg Louganis. Yeah, the diver, Olympic diver. And the one lesson I will always take with me, Greg Louganis said this at like some, bullshit press conference we had, but he said, the first thing I do every day is make my bed in the morning.
Yeah.
Because it like sets you up for success. This is like a make my bed in the morning kind of thing. Having a hot breakfast like sets you up for like a day with intention.
Yeah. I don't know if my dad was fully thinking of that, but he liked to make sure that we're all well fed all the time. But no, it was very, very sweet. And so both great cooks, but there's the weird dichotomy of my mum's Iranian, my dad's English, and so very different styles. But my dad was like, the produce had to be amazing, but I don't want it seasoned with anything more than like salt and pepper kind of thing. I don't want spicy, don't want it. And then my mum is like, well, I want amazing produce, but I want to do all of the seasoning. And so that is like an interesting clash. But yeah, for the first bit that we were in England, they wanted to do the kind of country life, which is have some like a little bit of land, and they had like an acre, and they built my mum did all of it, built a greenhouse, grew all of her own veggies.
Damn.
And because she said you couldn't get any vegetables in the middle of nowhere. And so it was like amazing meat, fish, dairy, but no vegetables.
Right.
And she's like, coming from California, absolutely.
Yeah. That adds up.
Yeah, it does add up. Yeah. It's different now.
Yeah.
It is. That was a long time ago.
Yes, British listeners, our large contingent of British listeners, please don't be offended by that.
Yeah.
So of the culinary trips that you took, Natalie, which one was your favorite?
Oh, Japan is the place we visited most. That has felt like the most eye-opening. It feels like a dream world to me. It ended up being the place we got engaged, especially the northern island, Hokkaido, because I grew up skiing. I love skiing. And that was just like the ultimate place for me to eat incredible crab, ikura. Ski right off the ski slope to a warmed toilet seat and some ramen. Just so fun.
Warm toilet seat, that's genius. Like,
incredible.
How have we not done that elsewhere in the world?
Most of the Japanese restaurants here have done it.
Oh, really?
And they know.
Damn.
I think so.
I guess I'm not sitting
A
down
lot
in
of
Japanese restaurants
Go in.
toilets too often. Yeah.
Got to find a good
Luxuriate in
toilet
the
seat. Yeah.
in the toilet.
Know what I'm doing for my honeymoon. That sounds like fun. So take me back. So why did you move back to LA? Was it to be with family?
So we were both in a point in our career. We were both living in London before this. I think it was always in our 10 or 15-year plan that we wanted to kind of leave what we were doing, not because we didn't like it, but because we wanted to kind of create our own world, be our own bosses, do something in the culinary world that still felt like we were engaging in health and community and using our training. But, being our own bosses, setting down roots somewhere that felt really good to both of us.
Yeah.
And there was a point in London where I was finishing something, he was finishing something, and the opportunity to take this space over next to my mom's bookstore opened up for us. And we thought, is this just the moment where we jump on it? And, if we wait, will this ever happen again? Or is this kismet? Is it perfect timing, that my family is from here? Harry grew up here.
All of my family live here.
Yeah,
by the way.
everyone
they do?
lives here.
Yeah, all of
Even
my,
your parents, they moved back?
my mum still is in London. My mum and brother are the only family back in London.
Yeah.
Grandma, aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone lives here.
Well then.
And he was a dual citizen. So, if we stayed in London, I would have had to gain citizenship. Whereas if he came over here, it was just easier. And the weather is so much better.
So, you really?
Really? Can you believe it?
So actually, Westchester kind of chose itself then. Because I think like in a lot of the coverage about you guys, it's kind of like, even in the questions I wrote for you, frankly, it's kind of like raised as this like curiosity, like, oh my God, this restaurant near the airport. And to you, it's just like, this is where your parents are from, where they have their bookstore. So
It's
So-
true.
There was that. There was also the restaurant that the building that we're in right now was being taken by someone else. They pulled out pre-COVID, the bookstore was going to take this private dining room that we're in now as their like event space. And so there was like plans for this building already. And then when they pulled out, we were like, well, it's a shell. So first of all, let's try and figure out whether this is feasible at all. Let's do like the full business analysis. Let's see this area. Let's do all of our due diligence. One of our friends is like, he does the business analysis for prospective restaurants, does full analysis, and he was like, yeah, I'll do it for you for free, obviously. And he was like, why does LA have this area that has a huge residential community?
Yeah.
And I mean, there's a few things here, but he just like drew a massive circle around Westchester, including maybe a little bit of Playa, a little bit of El Segundo, and was just like, this doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if what you're telling me, like your plan, the business plan, what kind of restaurant you want to do, there's nothing in this zone that is anything like it, and that doesn't make sense on a business standpoint, why no one has already done that.
Yeah.
So that was kind of, we had all of these things being like, oh, you know what? It might actually be a really good idea, business-wise and personal.
But was there a part of you when you heard that it hadn't been done before that you were like,
oh,
wait
of course.
a second, why
not?
Yeah.
Of course. But then you're looking at Westchester and be like, okay, how has it changed over the last like 10, 15, 20 years? And we have the perfect historian in Nat's mum, who has been here working in Westchester. I mean, she grew up here, but she's been part of the community since early 2000s when Nat's grandfather passed away. Like, she continued on his business and developed it. And so you have the perfect historian be like, okay, well, this is why this happened. The airport expansion pushed a lot of people out. The businesses kind of then got pushed out as well because there weren't enough people here. But now you've got Playa Vista and like Playa, Westchester has all had a resurgence with so many people coming in, all the businesses coming into Playa Vista, and then all the family homes being bought up because all of these families have moved here and want a slightly larger footprint, which is Westchester.
Right.
And you have a bunch of good primary schools, elementary schools, etc. And
companies, right? Like, there's so many, like,
it's a really vibrant business district as well.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. And then we knew World Cup coming. We knew Olympics coming. Super Bowl in 2027.
Yeah.
Like, okay, SoFi has just had this huge $6 billion development. Like, this is an area that a lot of money is coming into. It seemed like the exact right time to be like, okay, this is the right time to invest in this area. And if we do it early enough and build ourselves up enough, that's perfect. Like, perfect time.
That makes sense.
I don't know.
No, it absolutely makes sense, especially since they're really building out that SoFi area.
Yeah.
Actually.
And the forum. YouTube, Cosm.
Cosm, I love Cosm.
Yeah.
Go see my soccer games there.
Yeah.
If I want to spend $300 to see something I can see for free.
Yeah. I know. Yeah. It's.
But it's a good time. And actually, the first time I came to Tabat was because we were going to see Post Malone at SoFi.
Oh, really?
And I was looking for a place nearby, and I was like, that's perfect. So,
ideal.
Yeah, ideal. Fascinating. So to you, I mean, when you see people talking about this neighborhood and the fact that you guys are here being such like a novel thing, how does that like hit for you? Like, are you kind of like, man, we made a smart choice coming here, like being sort of the game in town? Or does this sometimes being like, yeah, the neighborhood's cool, but like, let's focus on what we're actually doing?
I mean, I think it's both. I think we really tried to set out to do something with heart and with purpose and with meaning, and that really helps us, that's the single thread through creating this, going through the everyday, all our plans to evolve in these different ways. It's all for the community. So I mean, I mean, we can think about competitors, and in that way, I do think we made a smart choice.
Yeah.
We wanted to be a date night spot. We wanted to be a diverse entity for the community where you can come for breakfast every day. You can just pop in for a coffee and go. You can come for a date night for dinner. You can rent this event space out for a birthday or, you know, for a wedding, etc. You can come have a cocktail on the roof and watch the planes fly in.
Yeah.
We wanted to be all those different things. And so I think we do hear a lot of people say, why Westchester? Ew. It's in a strip mall. Why is there a Staples across the street? And it's like, oh, well, please. So much of LA looks like that.
I know.
Come
That's
on.
like, you just don't get LA if you have an issue with that.
And you're saying it in a way sometimes where it feels like you're saying the community doesn't deserve something like that. And they do. This is a wonderful community of all sorts of different age groups, people, professions, and a very vibrant business district. And so we thought, let's really try to cater to all these different things. And, you know, we're a year and a half in, we're still very much learning. There goes the fall. And I think that probably any restaurant owner who's so passionate about a concept and a cuisine and our ethos of sustainability and doing all these ferments and these things, it also has to meet halfway with what the community, the immediate community, is really asking for. And we've learned so much about what that is. And it comes from a genuine place. And that's a lot of the fun of, I think, being here and being an alternative to the In-N-Out, which I love.
Is it the best In-N-Out? People seem to think it is.
I think it's just because you've either landed or you're about to leave and you're like, oh, my last taste of America.
So let's double click on the food. And I'm sorry for saying double click and bringing such corporate jargon into this podcast. But, you know, there's a lot been written about the philosophy of the food, the style of the food. Sometimes it feels like, sometimes it's from you guys directly, but a lot of the times it's people imposing that on you. So I'd love to hear from you at this stage of Tomat's life. What is it?
Okay, so I know there's a whole like, British cuisine coming in to LA.
The invasion,
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, British invasion been going on for a very long time. There's a reason why I was born here is partially because there was a British invasion like 40 years ago. So
You're
it's
telling
like...
me your dad was a Beatle?
Oh, yeah. Don't you see the resemblance? And so it's like, okay, every country has a preconceived notion of what British food is, and I know there are foodies all around the world who are like, oh, yeah, but St. John's, and et cetera, and British food has become amazing. The food in England is... Okay, the food in England is unbelievable if you know the places. Obviously, there is a lot of rubbish, but the ethos has changed so much of using seasonal, sustainable, local, and working with some amazing farms. And yeah, there will always be like generic whatever, but there are so many places that have now gone into this realm of, okay, these farms are doing some amazing stuff, and it's like, okay, well, that's fantastic. And everyone's doing their own version, especially like the younger generation who are maybe mixed, British something else, and putting their spin and doing amazing seasonal ingredients, the British seasonal ingredients, but in a completely different cuisine. So, and that's still kind of a British food. So what we like to say is like, well, we're both have this like LA imprint, and I'm half Iranian. That's why my mum's side is here. So we have this like imprint of this Iranian style cuisine. We have a little bit of British, all these places in LA that we absolutely love and kind of want to take inspiration from. So there's a little bit of Mexican, there's a little bit of Korean, there's a little bit of Japanese, and it's like, well, we can take a little bit from all of that, and it just feels like we're trying to show off this very LA kind of cuisine. We're not trying to do British food. We have some takes on like British style dishes, but honestly, we're trying to do it in a different technique.
Yeah.
And
I didn't see a whole lot of British when I was here on the night. I did hear you have a half English for breakfast.
we have a
Right.
half English for breakfast.
I'm excited.
And
about that.
we make our own blood sausage.
Yeah.
And that is based off of morcilla. So there's a little bit of heat in it. We love spice. We have a restaurant garden that we grow a ton of chilies in. And it's like, well, you're not going to get that in England.
No.
Well, some places.
Well, you
but
would in your mom's greenhouse.
You would in mom's greenhouse. And you're just like, well, we want to be representative of kind of LA. There's a little bit more heat. There's a little bit more acid. There's some really fun flavors here that we want to highlight just as much as like our backgrounds of like American and British.
For sure.
And you could come here and get a meal of all English food. You could order the Welsh rarebit, the trout and chips, like a fish and chips, essentially.
Sticky
A sticky
pudding.
toffee
There's
pudding.
sticky
But
toffee
I,
pudding,
we,
which
I
is-
wouldn't recommend it. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. You should go 1, 2, 3. Beige carb, beige carb, beige carb.
It's a beige carb world we're just living in.
Yeah.
It's truly.
No, that's fine. Yeah, if you wanted to go that route, you could.
You could.
But yeah.
We wouldn't recommend it. I think the produce is what shines and is so much fun. And I think I've learned so much from living in England. I mean, Harry grew up there, but shopping at the farmers markets was just your Sunday thing you did as a family.
Yeah.
And a few things would be there for like 2 or 3 weeks and everyone would be so excited. Like wild garlic or, I mean,
Ramps for Americans.
exactly. Those type of things.
Thanks for the translation.
Oh, you're welcome. I have to do it every day. Don't worry. I'm used to it.
Coriander.
Coriander.
Cilantro.
Yeah. I
There's
miss
a lot of
them. I
them.
miss those. So that all makes sense to me, and I also think there must be a challenge too to like translating that ethos, not just into a dinner menu, but into an all-day menu.
Mm-hmm.
How does that show up?
I mean, for the morning we want to be way more relaxed. We want it to be far more accessible. Dinner, we can like challenge you a little bit. There are some things on the menu that you can, as Natalie said, you could be unchallenged with
Right.
dinner depending on what you want, which is completely fine. We still want to make sure it's delicious. That's the most important thing, as long as it's delicious. Whereas the morning, we want to it's a little bit more accessible. It's a little less challenging, but just as delicious.
Yeah.
And so we're doing coffee and pastries. First thing, we're doing French style viennoiserie, so like pain au chocolat, croissant, all
You're
that kind
doing
of
that
stuff.
all here.
We're doing it all here, all in house.
You don't like free time.
Oh, no, no, we do not. But it's kind of the challenge of doing everything on site. So the way we look at it is like we have multiple different businesses in one building.
Smart.
And that's just how we have to operate it now. So yeah, we have the breakfast lunch menu, which it has some of the techniques at dinner, but way more relaxed. So you can just come in, have a bite. I mean, we smoke our own fish, and that's just how we do it. And everyone here, all of our staff are just like, oh yeah, well, it tastes really, really good. So yeah, I see why we're doing it this way. And that kind of gives them a little bit more like pride in what they're doing, I think.
Love that. I'm smiling because it just brings me back to your initial anecdote of when you were cooking in the Gambia, being like, I'm going to figure out how to make this dish with these ingredients. Like, seems like it's the same ethos. It's like, we're going to do this ourselves, basically.
Yeah.
As opposed to just.
That is very much like, yeah, we can do it ourselves. If other people do, let's give it a go. Let's see.
And we're so lucky to have 2 kitchens. We have a kitchen that's open on the bottom that you can see, and you're part of that dining experience when you walk in. But we have a pastry kitchen on the 2nd floor where all of your desserts come from upstairs at night, but that's where all of our pastries are made. And that's the That's the slight noise you might hear in the background here, because those guys are hard at work.
That'll be AI'd out. Don't worry. The open kitchen downstairs is interesting. I was like mesmerized by it when I was here because it's a living, breathing kitchen. And I remember there being like herbs hanging from the walls.
Oh, yeah.
Did I make that up? No, that happened, right?
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah,
It's still down there.
Yeah, still down.
Not the same ones.
But it's and I sometimes I felt like a little bit of voyeur because I couldn't like look away from the kitchen. But it does create like I'm in a serious restaurant when I walk in. To me, it gave that vibe.
I think
Perfect.
well,
No.
I love that. I think if you sit at the bar and you're like in talking distance from a chef, you will probably engage with them, and those, any feeling of intimidation might be knocked down, which is the point. It's meant to be dinner and a show, and you cannot, you don't have to sit at the bar, but we love it.
Yeah.
It's really fun to meet people, and they ask all sorts of questions. Mostly, what fish is that? What fish is that? What fish is that?
Shit.
People do not know
Love
their
it.
fish. That's funny. Yeah, intimidation isn't necessarily how it characterizes. It's almost like it's like nervous excitement, like watching a show. To
Yeah.
your point. It's like these people are doing their job. I'm watching it, but I think anytime you're watching a kitchen operate, it's like I get performance anxiety for them sometimes. Especially in the more intimate settings. I'm not sure if you've been to Petit Trois and Melrose, but like they're right there in front of you, and I'm just like, they're plating like literally as you're eating your burger or whatever. I'm just like, I don't want to breathe right now because I might knock over your like little piece of celery that you're putting on. So that's not quite the feeling here, but there's that element of theater to it, which I appreciate. Now, you talk a lot about being a community spot, community restaurant, and you're clearly executing on that, but you've also gotten huge national accolades, like Esquire named you one of the best new restaurants.
That was amazing.
And like you've been added to other big lists locally and things like that. Seems like that wasn't necessarily the number one intention going into it. How has that felt? It's really great.
I think the biggest one for us was when we were added to the Michelin Guide last March. I think it was important that, we're so honored and proud to have those accolades and be a part of those lists. I think from the beginning, it wasn't our intention. We didn't set out to be a part of them. And I think that was important because we really wanted to have not only, sustainable practices in our business, but be a sustainable business and grow organically. And when we got added to the Michelin Guide, for example, that felt like a massive change. Like overnight, that felt like a huge change. And I think for us, it was nice to, try to remember who we are and where we come from and not try to match that growth too quickly. Because it can swing, the pendulum can swing the other way for restaurants. And it's important not to be at the whim of anyone maybe but yourself, but your own ambitions.
Yeah. And also, if you want to be a sustainable model for a restaurant, you need your regulars and you need your community. And so that's more what we were like, okay, we're having some people come in every week for dinner. And you're like, okay, that's the measure of success. Like, that is the most important thing, that these people are the ones that are showing up day after day. And maybe those accolades will bring the people who are coming through LAX, stopping off whatever, or from SoFi, but it does get your name out there, and that'll drive up business. But honestly, the people who are walking over here and because they're walking, they can have a martini and a bottle of wine and whatever else, they're having a great time. That's like how to keep the doors open kind of thing.
I love that. It's super, super like cool to hear you say that, because I feel like that's where I would get lost if I was a restaurateur. Like I would see like, oh, is that the Michelin Guide? I wonder if I could get a star. And then I just like go crazy on that.
It's like the shiny object.
Yeah.
It's like, that's the thing that I want. Yeah. But wait, this is the thing that will make us
Bit
last.
on the nose for a guy with a British accent to make a Lord of the Rings reference, but that's okay.
There you go. There we go.
No, this is awesome. And the part we haven't even talked about is that on a personal level, it feels like a pretty insane chapter. Am I correct in saying that you opened Tomat while already raising a toddler?
Oh, yeah. She was 1.5. So we always say Tomat's our second baby.
So and now you're expecting your third.
Oh yeah.
So all of this success, I'm assuming things keep ramping up. It seems like you strike me as quite ambitious people who always are adding more to your plate. Like, oh, we're gonna smoke our own fish now. So how do you balance these two things?
We're lucky to have a community of people, like we mentioned at the beginning. My parents live very close, and it takes a village, truly, especially a family, to help raise a kid when you're both working all day. I think it's really helped that we're both doing this together and we can tag team it in different ways.
Yeah.
We both live at Tamat, but we both, are raising a kid together. And I could imagine, for example, if it was just Harry doing this, there would be such like natural resentment of, oh my gosh, you're there all the time and I'm at home all the time. And I really love that we're doing it together.
Yeah.
It feels really cool to have our personalities be a part of being, the parents of Tamat and also the parents of our daughter. And parenting has been really helpful in, teaching us how to work through sleep deprivation, and be patient and try to see the bigger picture of things and be consistent. I've learned it so much, at least as a mom, from being a mom before opening this.
What's harder, restaurant meltdown, toddler meltdown?
Toddler meltdown. Oh, we're really in the stage of it because she's just turning 3, and it's so hard not to laugh sometimes because they're so silly. And you're not laughing at the restaurant when there's a meltdown. And there's not
Sometimes, but not often.
not often.
Maybe not to laughter?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's laughter.
Yeah.
Maybe in hindsight. We don't have that many, to be honest. I mean, the first year was bananas, but we got through it.
Did you have any like bear type situations where like, you were like, holy fuck.
That was something we set out to really avoid.
Yeah.
And
That's what helps with having an open kitchen is that
you can't do that.
You can't do that. And everyone is like, okay, we're on stage and you got to be our best behavior. But yeah, opening a restaurant is absolutely fucking crazy. So, and there's a lot of people who have opened and closed a lot of restaurants, and hearing from them of how like the first year goes is very much like, it feels like, yes, we kind of hit all of those points at some time. And just keeping on going, and the accolades were awesome, and just like keeping true to ourselves, like definitely helped
for sure.
And just like trying to keep things a little bit mellow and be like, okay, yeah, it's another issue, add it to the list, we'll get to it at some point.
And admit that we're normal people and we're human, and we have to spend time at home. Our employees have the same types of things going on.
Yeah.
Your kid's sick, one of us has to leave. That's just how it is.
It's life.
It's life.
It's life.
Do you ever think back to those two kids who met in the Gambia, and now you think of everything you've built together, including this multi-business restaurant, one kid, another one on the way, this move from across the world, ending back in Los. Are you ever like, what the fuck? Like, a lot has happened.
Shit happens. It's fine.
Of course. I mean, it's a
I'm
crazy
getting anxiety
life.
just thinking about it.
Oh, don't get anxiety.
Not anxiety, just like, it's a feeling of like, I just watched this movie Train Dreams. Have you heard of it?
No.
It's nominated for an Oscar. It's not very good, but it's on Netflix if you want. And it's basically follows this man's life throughout the entire time. And by the end of it, he's like, man, he's back on it all. And it's, oh wow, it's been a wild ride, And he felt connected to it all. And that's the feeling I'm getting, like, hearing your story, although it's a much better movie, don't get me wrong. It's just this feeling of like, wow, you guys have done a lot, been through a lot, done things with really cool intention, and now you're still in the thick of it, but it's been it feels like it's been a journey.
Of course. And I'm the sentimental one because I'm American. I mean, Harry's not going to crack.
I can tell Harry's very uncomfortable right now.
He's just a tough egg to crack. Yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, I feel all those things and I look back and I just feel lucky. I feel so lucky that I'm doing it with him, that we have this space, that we both have found such meaning and purpose in being back in LA and doing what we're doing. And we both bring like different skill sets, but of course our minds work in a lot of the same ways because we come from a science and health background and who we are, you know, fundamentally as people. That's one of the things we connected on. It's wild. It's a wild ride being a parent, owning a restaurant, but I mean, boy, are we lucky to be here.
I love it. Love it. Well, I've really enjoyed this conversation. It's made me so excited for my next visit to Tamont. I think I'm gonna try breakfast in the immediate future.
Yes, please.
Meaning not today, but soon. The closing question we ask all our guests before I let you go is, what are some LA restaurants you're loving right now? Maybe we do 2 each.
Okay.
Who feels more prepared?
I mean, we're probably going to have a lot of the same things on our list. Our off days are Monday and Tuesday, which breaks my heart because those are the days Otofuko is also closed.
Ooh, great restaurant.
I know, we love it. It's so good. We just went back to the new Broken Spanish after opening, and we had a lovely time. It was delicious. It was just as delicious as when they were downtown, you know, on our way to a game at the Staples Center. Anywhere that will welcome a toddler is kind of our vibe at the moment.
I love that. That's a great criteria to have.
Yeah. It's nice. And she's a good eater, but you know, she's going to make an absolute mess.
Sometimes.
She'll lose it at some point, but that's also dinner and a show for you.
If I asked her this question, what would she say?
You got it. Dumplings.
Yeah.
Oh, she eats it to model up, but.
Yeah, I mean, it is a crapshoot of like what will be going today. She loves her pasta, but we've never taken her out for pasta.
Oh, you haven't given her the Evan Funky treatment yet?
We haven't.
Oh my gosh. Is she welcome there?
I know. That might not be.
We do a lot of dim sum. She loves dim sum.
She does love dim sum.
And it's so fun.
It's an easy one to do, and we have friends who've got a kid like 2 weeks age difference, and we just went to that place.
Happy Together.
Which we like heard about, wanted to try over in SGV, and I know someone did a dim sum list at the moment, and it wasn't on there, but it was really good. I mean, we've been to like Sea Harbor, Lunasia, etc., and that place was really excellent. I don't know, maybe it was the park that we took her to beforehand, so she was super chill, but it was really good dim sum. We're trying to do a lot of South Bay and like the Japanese, Korean places down there and explore that instead of. It feels like it's an easier drive sometimes, even though it can still be like 30 minutes somewhere.
What was the blood sausage place? I
Uh,
don't know if we went early on in my pregnancy, but Korean has been one of my cravings. First pregnancy and this one.
it was.
And there was an incredible blood sausage place.
In the South Bay.
Really hole in the wall.
It was so hole in the wall. It was just grandma and grandpa.
Yeah, truly.
nice.
It was so good.
It was called.
You're about to blow up their spot here.
I think people know about it.
It was like something Jinmi. I'm sorry.
We can email it to you after if we can't find it.
No, I've got it right here. Maybe. No. Well,
Harry's Google Maps has just a trillion flags
South
on it.
Bay Jinmi restaurant. South Bay.
We found it.
Jinmi restaurant was it is all like blood sausage based, Korean blood sausage.
So
and
good.
it was maybe 6 seats.
Wow.
And it's just like grandpa's house.
Okay, I'll add
and
that to my list.
You're like,
Love it.
okay, this is just down the road from Otofuku.
Oh yeah. Well, I wanted to give you another award, which is the most times the words blood sausage have been uttered on one
I
single
felt it
podcast.
before I said it. I was like, should I say that?
And so that I think those answers were for your daughter, or were they for you, Harry?
I mean, I don't think she's eating the blood sausage,
No, she's
but
not eating that.
we have been like trying down there, and I mean, we've had favorites, and I mean, Yes and Cafe 2001.
Dudley.
They're close friends and they're amazing. One of my favorite taquerias is Tire Shop Taqueria.
Oh yeah.
And the first time I went there, I was like, this is exactly what I want every single time. I'm a massive like corn tortilla fan, and I really want to try Kamal. And
Oh yeah,
I've had
I'm going there right
things.
after this.
Oh, you
Just
are?
come along. Just kidding. You guys probably are busy.
Very, very tempted. But I mean, we're using the exact same corn as them serendipitously, like, yeah. And so we know they're doing things in such an amazing way. Going over east is like date night, which we haven't done in a very long time.
Yeah.
But there's so many places that we've been like dying to
That
try.
are on your to-do list.
There's so many places on the to-do list.
Once I can get a martini again, we'll be back at it. But
Oh,
for the
yeah.
next little bit,
Yeah.
we'll probably be ordering it. And
Well, I'm excited for when you're able to do that, and I look forward to hearing what you think of all these places you want to go to. But in the meantime, thank you both for joining us, and
Thank you so much,
congratulations.
Luca.
thank you
very
so
much.
much.
Thanks for listening to another episode of the LA Food Podcast. Thanks to our guests for making the time for us. As always, we'll be back with another epic episode next week. But if you're looking for me in the meantime, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Thread, YouTube, even our website at the LA Countdown. You can also find us on Instagram at It's Acquired Taste and at acquiredtastemedia.com. If you like what you heard here today, dear listener, please consider going to wherever you listen to podcasts and leave us a 5-star rating or review, even a follow. That really helps us. It means the world to us. Thank you so much in advance. Before we wrap, a quick reminder that this episode was brought to you by our friends at MVA.wine. If you want to learn more, go back and listen to episode 167 of this podcast dated February 27th of 2026, where I sat down with the founders. They really give you a look inside why this is a special place to find and drink your wine. If you want to discover some truly incredible wines you won't find at stores, check them out at mva.wine/subscribe. Let's drink together, dear listener. Enjoy.